Welcome to the Raventape Drive-in. I'm your host, Mr. Raventape, and tonight's game is Max Payne, the original from Remedy Software. So, just to point it out to you, this has been emulated on the PS4. I think this is the same version they rolled out to the app stores and stuff like that. But I'll talk about that a little later. Right now, I'm just going to shut up until the whole large intro is over with.
Shots fired on the rooftop. An assault in progress at Acer Plaza. Repeat, an assault in progress. It's a war zone down here. 1085 dispatcher, need additional units. Additional units now. Officer in danger. Officer in danger.
10-5, please repeat. 10-5, all units, emergency. Officer in danger, Acer Plaza, repeat. Acer Plaza, all units.
They were all dead. The final gunshot was an exclamation mark to everything that had led to this point. I released my finger from the trigger, and then it was over. To make any kind of sense of it, I need to go back 3 years. Back to the night the pain started. I was still on the force back then. NYPD, Manhattan, Midtown North Precinct, Hell's Kitchen.
So when are you coming to work for me, Detective Payne?
You'd make me work undercover in some hellhole. Sorry, Alex. Michelle and the baby come first. See? My last smoke. It's bad for the baby.
That's you, Max. A regular Boy Scout.
See, Alex.
You're still on for poker Thursday night, right?
Like taking candy from a baby. Life was good. The sun setting on a sweet summer's day. The smell of freshly mowed lawns. The sounds of children playing. A house across the river on the Jersey side. Beautiful wife and a baby girl. The American dream come true. Honey, I'm home. But dreams have a nasty habit of going bad when you're not looking. The sun went down with practiced bravado. Twilight crawled across the sky, laden with foreboding. Michelle, honey, anybody home? I didn't like the way the show started. They'd given me the best seat in the house, front row center. What the hell? Something ugly had been tattooed on the wall, a map of things to come. It was a poisoned syringe, a magic tag full of diabolical meanings. Listen, someone's broken into my house. Call 911.
Is this the Payne residence?
Yes, someone's broken into my house. They're still here. You have to...
Good. I'm afraid I cannot help you.
Who is this? Hello? Michelle!
It's coming.
Freeze! NYPD's drop! No, please, God, no.
The flesh of fallen angels!
No, God, no, please, Michelle. Oh, baby. That was 3 years ago. Everything ripped apart in a New York minute. The killer junkies had been high on a previously unknown designer drug, Valkyr, V. After the funeral, I told Alex I'd be transferring to the DEA. It took us 3 long years to get a break in the Valkyr case. Then, finally, 2 months ago, a dime dropper tipped us off that Jack Lupino, a mob boss in the Punchinello crime family, was trafficking. I went undercover, infiltrated the worst mafia family in New York. I came in from the cold and the dark. Outside, the city was a cruel monster. I've been slowly working my way from the small time to the big fish, trying to get to the source of the drug. Alex and BB were my only contacts in the DEA, the only ones in this decrepit city who knew I was down here.
BB here. Something urgent has come up with Jack Lupino. You need to meet with Alex immediately at the Roscoe Street station.
I hadn't had a face-to-face with Alex since I'd gone undercover. Outside, the mercury was falling fast. It was colder than the devil's heart, raining ice pitchforks as if the heavens were ready to fall. Everyone was running for shelter like there was no tomorrow. It didn't get any better when I got to the subway. The feeling hit me like a point-blank shot straight in the face. Something was not right about this. My Beretta stirred nervously under my coat, but the train doors had already shut behind me, and I was in for the ride. Next stop, Roscoe Street Station, and Alex. The station was drenched in gloom. Alex was a ghost, nowhere to be seen. I'd have to look for him.
Yeah, sorry for being quiet there, but this whole intro had to play out completely interrupted because you get the idea of what the story is like in its entirety and what makes up Max Payne, who, to a degree, also has the same origins as
Death was in the air at Roscoe Street. I'd have to find Alex fast.
the Punisher. And it has been drawn, comparisons have been drawn in the past of the two characters. But that's here nor there at the moment. Anyway, so the plan is to do this in 3 parts. Part 1, The American Dream. Part 2, A Cold Day in Hell. And then I think it's Part 3, something else. I'll have to wait till
Pills would hold the pain back for a while.
Yes, they do. I'll have to double check what the Part 3 is.
Wasn't Jake supposed to take care of this?
He and Mickey are having too much.
Hold it!
As you can see, I'm still getting myself acquainted with the controls. I don't think I'll use bullet time as much as you'd expect, except for maybe potentially good shots. As you can see, I'm still having issues with the inverted controls. I'm used to the other way. Like you pull the stick down, you look down, up is up, you know what I mean? But it's going to be a trip playing this.
Hold it!
Because my plan after finishing this, if I can't emulate Max Payne 2 on the PS3 because it's not on the PS4, I'll go straight onto 3, Max Payne 3. I do have a physical copy of Max Payne 2 for the PS2, but I've ran into... I don't know if you watch my Constantine videos, but it seems I've ran into an issue with a fuzzy sound in the background, and I can't work that out if that was my mic at the time or the recording itself. So I've got another adapter, I guess you would call it, coming, and I'll give it a go then. Because at the moment I don't think my computer would give a flawless emulation of it, which is a bit of a shame, but we're here to see the original, the best at the moment.
Did you hear something?
Nah, take it easy.
Hey,
While looking for Alex, they had ended up in the middle of a big-time crime operation.
Now, if my memory serves me correctly, this was the easier of the two. This is back when there was only Max Payne and Max Payne 2.
Kiss it.
Because if I remember, like I said, if I remember correctly, Max Payne 2 was a lot more difficult.
You saved me, man.
What's going on here?
A massacre. These armed thugs just appeared from nowhere. We need to get help. I can make the call from the control room 1 floor up. Can you take me there?
Sure, sounds good. Follow me.
Always got to search everything for gear. That was actually one thing I never really did when I originally played it on the PS2
The security panel let out a mocking cackle. I'd need the right code.
was to tap X on things to see if they opened. I think I just ran with whatever I could find.
Home free. This way.
Yo!
Like I said, I'm going to try and make an active effort of finding the little nits and gritties. What I mean by that is that as you go through the level, there are little things that you can find, like TVs, radios, newspapers, or just random bits of evidence that shows the, well, not shows, but adds more to the story and the characters that you may come across. Fun fact about this, if this is correct or not, and if I'm not, please correct me in the comments. But from what I understand, is the budget was so small for this game that the way they got around cutscenes and whatnot was with the comic book panels you've already seen, but the stand-ins for those comics panels were like developers,
The train lit up.
friends
like
of
a Christmas
developers,
tree. Power
and
was back
family
on.
members because of how small the budget was. I think the guy's name is Sam Lake. He's even the face of Max Payne. With, of course, I think it's James McCaffrey who's the voice of Max. Once again, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments or not. Now, if you played the original PC demo of this, you're getting pretty much close to how the game, if I remember correctly, the demo ended.
So much for being subtle.
I think if they've heard the gunfire from earlier, subtlety has long gone out the window, Max. Yeah, basically, if you're anchoring for a Punisher story, like video game wise anyway, and the video game hasn't given you that feel, look into the Max Payne series. There is a lot of lines you can draw between the character Frank Castle and Max Payne, especially depending on which version of Frank Castle you are reading.
The rusty door led to an abandoned part of the station, closed off since the early 40s. Something big was going down at Roscoe Street. Maybe that's why Alex had wanted to meet me here. Maybe not. One way or the other, I was gonna find out.
This is also a thing, like, people tend to forget about Max Payne. I think everybody knows the Rockstar game,
What the hell?
but I think, not so much the hardcore fans of Max Payne, but just general people with interest in Max Payne know that he was a New York cop or DEA agent who actually just stumbled on something that to a degree could be looked at like revenge or vengeance against whoever sent those junkies on his family.
Like Lapino. Now that's spooky.
Jack Lapino, yeah, spooky. But also, it's like the failure count is rising.
Yeah, I wouldn't joke about it if I was you. Yeah? The station's not secured. Someone decided to play hero upstairs.
That's all we need.
Got him down!
What the hell was that?
I think we're about to find out, Max. I gotta admit, I like that.
Give me the detonator.
When you enter a new area, he automatically reloads his weapon. He doesn't. You don't even have to hit a button for that, and that saves me a bullet.
The door had been welded shut ages ago and the bomb was missing a detonator.
Yo!
Okay, fellas, the police are on their way. New York's fine.
One of my favorite scenes of comic panels is coming up in this area.
In and out, do your thing. Wham bam, thank you, man.
I've got a couple of scenes I really like, but this one takes the #1 place. And I'll point it out when it comes up. Apart from him clipping through the wall, there's always has to be one left over, hasn't there? First thing I gotta do is deal with that alarm. Yeah, hold on.
Thank you.
Here it is. This is my favorite panel.
We come to you now live from the crime scene.
Who is this?
Right back at you.
This is Deputy Chief Jim Bravura from the NYPD. You are to cease your criminal activities and surrender immediately.
Sure thing, Jim. Me and the boys have been talking and everyone's real sorry. They'll never do it again.
Who the hell is this?
Being placed at the scene of a bank robbery wouldn't have tipped the odds in my favor.
That's for sure. Which means we have to get out of here as quickly as we can.
The bank robber's score lay on the table. The bank robbers have been after Acer Corporation bonds. The Acer success story had recently been on every channel and on the cover of every magazine.
Maybe this was not just a random bank robbery, this was targeted.
The bank robbers had left their tools on the table. Judging by the detonators, the crooks had bought enough explosives to send Lady Liberty into orbit.
Well, there's no such thing as a random bank robbery, but this seems very calculated. They were definitely looking for something. Which I'm guessing were the bonds on the table there. Alright, whenever you hear that bouncing sound, that's a grenade. Oh yeah, they don't hold back on this one. We good? That's a nice touch, I like that, of the door dropping.
Hold it! Max! Jesus, you almost gave me a heart attack! I nearly shot you!
Alex, I'm glad to see you.
What the hell's going on? There are more corpses here than at the city morgue!
It's an armed robbery, a tunnel job straight to the Roscoe bank vault through the old station wall. Is this why... this is Lupino's gig?
This is Lupino's doing? Lupino's men? Really?
You sure know how to pick a place. Can you get through?
No, it's locked. We gotta get out of here. If it's Lupino, it's... Alex? Alex!
There was nothing I could do. He was dead. I could tell by the empty, accusing stare of his eyes.
Got him down.
Now that's a frame job if I've ever seen one.
Let's get the hell out of here!
We'll be fine. Just take it easy.
I'm allergic to sirens! We gotta get moving!
Shut up, okay?
How about bullets? Are you allergic to bullets? I wish they wouldn't throw grenades around. The only downside is that as you get later in the game, they start throwing a lot more than grenades. The one I really hate is the Molotov. Oh yeah, get used to these bullet cams because I don't even think you can turn these off, so they're going to be everywhere. And you'd think that the authorities by now would have heard those explosions. Really? Anybody thirsty? There's a can of Coke there. Or Pepsi, whatever you want.
Alex had kept me relatively sane for the past 3 years. Now I didn't know how I felt. Somehow he had stumbled upon something big and ended up stepping on Jack Lupino's toes.
So it's going to be interesting to see how this story unfolds again.
Lupino ran his racket of sex, drugs, and contract killings from a sleazy hotel in a slum block of tenements. The NYPD was closing in. I could hear the sirens. Their wail was a crescendo. Lupino thought he could get us by taking Alex out and leaving me to take the fall for it. All he had gotten was my attention. I went for the hotel first. It was a sad old thing with flickering lamps and faded colors, cheap mobster punks and tired-eyed prostitutes. I walked straight in, playing at Bogart, like I'd done 100 times before. The place was run by a couple of murdering mobsters with shark smiles. The Finito brothers.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the pain in the butt. Pain to the max.
You're killing me. Do you make that up yourselves, or you get some wino downstairs to come up with it? Don't answer that. A rhetorical question. I got something for the boss. Lupino around?
That kind of depends on who's asking. A friend or a junk squad plan. Don't answer. It's one of them, how do you put it, rhetorical questions. Lupino ain't here, but he said bye.
Lupino wasn't in his cheap hotel. Instead, I ran into the Finito brothers. My cover had been blown. The door slammed shut behind me. And then I was dodging bullets like raindrops.
Pain in the butt. Ha ha! Pain to the max. Junk squad pain. Got a ticket to Marble City for you. First and lying down. We did it.
A letter on the desk caught my eye.
Better answer that quickly, eh?
I had met Lupino only once. The gangster ran all his rackets through his right-hand man, Vinny Gagniti. Gagniti was a high-strung whiner on the verge of breaking apart, like an overamped Energizer bunny. He had the brains to run the business, but he lacked the balls, always falling short, taking his frustration out on underage addicts and call girls.
The V deal goes down at your hotel. Jack's exact words, quote, "Vinny, you're in charge of this one," unquote. Rico Muerte's coming to see it through. Anything goes wrong and everybody's gonna get dead. Goes double for you. Treat this guy real good. Anything he wants, you give him. Don't screw this up or you're finito, finitos.
A V deal meant added security, locked doors, and lots of nervous thugs with itchy trigger fingers. I'd seen nothing coming in, but that didn't mean it hadn't been there. Rico Muerte was a regular Kaiser Soze, a spook story told to keep the apes in line. 313. The Finitos had scribbled Muerte's room number on the note's margin.
Everything all right? Bosses? Joey? Vigilio? You all right in there? They're not answering. Call the others. Tell them to come quick.
Yes, please come inside. They need help. Quick.
Bosses, we're coming
Awesome. It's like that meme. It's like somebody call an ambulance, but not for me. It's, if you haven't picked it up already, this game is going to show you not only is the writing going to be extremely good, and with most Remedy games the writing has got a lot better, but this is going to show you I guess their version of a grittier New York City.
In his press conference today, the mayor stated that Valkyr represents a clear danger to New York and called for drastic actions to eliminate the problem. On today's top story, the Valkyr crisis worsens with the murder of DEA Special Agent Alex Balder. Special Agent Balder had been shot repeatedly from a point-blank range. The gunman has been identified as Max Payne. The noose is sure to tighten around this fugitive criminal as more NYPD units join the search to apprehend him.
I had just gotten my 15 minutes of fame.
They were pretty quick to pin me down, weren't they? I wonder if the beds still work. Yep. Doesn't that look inviting to you? Wouldn't you want to get a room in this hotel? Always got to go one way or another.
Yeah, something's wrong with the bosses. Payne's there and they're not answering. Let's go already. Payne's gonna pay in Spain.
The reason I shot those cylinders is that I remember them being able to explode. It must be certain ones though, which sucks because I guess they'll be a different color from those ones we had just seen.
What the?
Tell you what, this hotel is 5 stars on Yelp.
Previously on Lords and Ladies. Lady Amelia, Marquis Valentine asks for an audience.
Thank you, Lawrence.
My lady.
My lord.
And now, an all-new episode of Lords and Ladies, brought to you in part by Acer Corporation.
We're not going to listen to this one. I'm just pointing that out now. No lords and ladies in this gameplay. Gameplay. Couldn't get the word out there for a second.
There is?
Indeed, my lady, there is indeed. From the very first moment we met, upon that distant forest path, there has been sunlight and leaves blazing like
V-head junkies could go off without a warning. I had to be careful.
But my lady, I must.
My lord, no. I forbid you. This cannot be. This must not be.
Why, my love? Why?
My lord, it is too painful. Do not force me to speak the words.
My lady,
Thank you. If you like your daytime soaps, well, you can catch up on Lords and Ladies in another playthrough. I'm sure there's a compilation you can find on YouTube somewhere of Lords and Ladies. There's one TV show I really like in this, and I think it's a comic book strip that can be found in newspapers during the game.
Oh, careful, it might kick back. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee, killer vending machine.
You talking to me?
Tough guy.
Tonight, the city's fight against the nightmare drug Valkyr took a turn for the worse as DEA Special Agent Alex Balder was found brutally slain at the Roscoe Street subway station. A suspect was seen leaving the site only moments after the shots had been fired, and the NYPD is currently in pursuit of Max Payne, a repeated felon believed to be armed and extremely dangerous. And now the weather. The worst winter storm in recorded history continues to pound the city. Whatever steps necessary. Here stated that Valkyr.
Well, shit. Talk about having too much fun. Let's turn this bed off.
This party had been dead for a while. I couldn't say I was sorry I'd missed the show.
Yeah, there's little snippets that you come across that you may avoid or miss during your first playthrough, but I'll try and find most of them. Not that I remember all of them, but if I can spot them or something weird's going on in a certain room or level or whatever, I'll make a point of trying to figure out what. Nope. Nope. That's definitely not a door.
I'd found Muerte's room.
I'm just gonna check out and see if there's no more surprises anywhere. Thank you. Nope. Oh shit. Just realized there was a trap there.
Muerte had received a letter.
I'll take that shotgun though.
Our investigation had turned up nothing to link Angelo Punchinello, the head of the Punchinello family, to Valkyr. All tracks had ended with Jack Lupino. The letter in Muerte's room was signed by the Don himself. It was the first hint that the Kingpin knew what was brewing inside his syndicate.
The trouble you got into after the Chicago screw-up. The Punchinello family bailed you out. You have been waiting for a chance to pay us back. One of our trusted boys has a monkey the size of King Kong on his back. We need your special skills for backup on a major deal.
Collecting evidence had gotten old a few hundred bullets back. I was already so far past the point of no return I couldn't even remember what it looked like when I had passed it.
I'd love to see another revisit to the Max Payne universe. But I think with the way 3 ended and 2 ended, I think both companies kind of just wanted to have Max dead and gone now.
Eh? Not...
Not as bad, but I prefer the pump. More rounds, more chances.
Damn! Told you. God damn! I thought it was a bomb for sure.
Nah, the Russian wouldn't dare. This has been waiting to happen.
I thought it was a bomb. What the? Ah! Oh! Ah!
Oh, so you're going to find too the dialogue written for the usual usual thugs, goons, whatever you want to call them.
The hooker had left her diary
Henchmen
on the table.
Is very generic. That's the writing for them.
The diary belonged to a hooker named Candy Dawn. The read would have made a vice cop blush.
Had talks with the mystery hag over the phone again. Sent her the latest One-Eyed Alfred tape. As long as the hag keeps paying for the tapes, the old man could come every day for all I care.
She had a nice sideline, making secret X-rated flicks of her clients and selling them to the highest bidder. They would get her killed if her V-fix for the day didn't do it first.
I think it's behind that picture there. Yeah, yep. The picture just stands out like a sore thumb in this room. We're just backtracking on ourselves. Alright.
What the hell?
Okay. I think that's one of the things in this too. There's not a lot of doors are going to open in it. I think it's somewhere in maybe the second part where things become very mazy-like.
The old service elevator rumbled down to the bowels of Jack Lupino's hotel.
I just wanted to look at the washing machine. Oh well. No matter.
A winter storm warning is in effect in the whole tri-state area, as both freezing rain and heavy snowfall continue. Many roadways are already closed, and people are advised to stay indoors. The severe blizzard has ravaged New York for 3 days now, with no end in sight.
We'd been snowed from the start in the Valkyr case. The forecast said there was plenty more where that had come from. But the snowbound city was on my side. Less chance of innocent bystanders getting caught in the crossfire.
Which is good. But then again, you don't spend a lot of time outside, per se. Oh shit. The first glimpse of what an explosion looks like in this game. I wonder if you can shoot those boxes that are in front of the door. That's good, you can shoot them up, which is nice. Beautiful.
Hey,
Bye,
Exhibit number 1, a newspaper. A dead man tied to a chair lay on the boiler room floor.
Captain Baseball Bat Boy has an unbeatable track record in superhero death matches. But a 6-pack of root beer gets me every time.
The murder weapon was a baseball bat, now lying in a pool of drying blood next to a newspaper folded open on a Captain Baseball Bad Boy comic strip.
Take vampire movies. Why are they always set in LA or Mexico? They can't even get a tan. If I was a bloodsucker, I'd move to the North Pole. Winter's one long night. Yeah, and what would you eat? Suck blood from penguins? Nah, Eskimos, man, Eskimos.
Occasionally the dialogue in this is pretty good. Like, when would you ever hear two henchmen speak about vampire movies? Really? Now, I don't know, somebody could probably tell me in the comments, but what were the changes made to this game to be emulated on the PlayStation 4? And I'm guessing, like I said earlier, the same version was
Gentlemen, let's do
shipped to the app stores. And I'd love to know what are the changes they've done to this, to the original.
A lifetime ago, this would have gone down as a narcotics arrest.
Only a lifetime ago.
The transparent cylinders glowed green, full of Valkyr. It was dirty money. There was a key on the table.
There's just your ordinary gang meeting, that's all. We just happened to stumble across it. Like, really, like, what we're finding tonight, especially in part 1, we were never technically supposed to stumble across, I don't think. It just happens to be somewhere on our list. Nope, just double checking everything. Straight to the bar then. Like per usual.
Two mad dog killers, ready to murder each other. They step into the next room, and I'm thinking, now they're gonna do it. But no. They sit down in front of a TV and solve their differences with the Kung Fu fighting video game. I tell you, Candy, I was so depressed, I strangled them both with the video game cables.
Oh, Rico, you're so bad.
I am, ain't I?
Rico Muerte, big-time hustler.
Who the hell?
It's that cop.
Muerte went for his gun.
There he is.
It looks like those dispensers for the beer is checked in now. I'll have to get a little closer then. Yeah, it doesn't look like anybody else in this room. Sorry, man. Just picked the wrong night. Yeah, it's just amazing what you can just play around with in levels. Things they didn't really need to add in, but they did, which is always a nice touch. Dying with your pants around your ankles. I could think of better ways to go.
Get him!
The antique switchboard was still in use.
Yeah, sorry about that buzzing. Apparently I opened a door somewhere, but I don't know where.
There was an old telephone switchboard in the back room of the reception area, the kind that made phone tapping child's play. It wasn't hard to picture a fat pimp sweating with headphones on, listening to his hookers talk dirty and fake orgasms over a web of party lines, the blood veins of New York. Right now there was a different set of moans and groans going on.
Boss, Cornelia, this is Max Payne. He came, started capping us. He killed him.
Are you freaking kidding me? He's just one lousy cop. You better be freaking kidding me. Whack him. What's the freaking problem? Hello? Answer me. Hello?
The word was out. A deadly virus released into the city's corrupt circulatory system. Something wicked this way comes. Max Payne at large.
It's funny to see him have these inner dialogues that, okay. The way he sums up things. I know that's because of the writer, but just a nice touch is that it gives you that feeling that it's like an old, like 1920s, 30s, 40s detective story. Oh, did we win? Nah, didn't sound like we won. Oh yes, the many drop-ins from the roof. Eee.
There he is!
You know, one thing I miss in that I think modern games are missing to a degree is the writing that appears in this game. I'd love to see another game tackle the same sort of writing. There probably is a game out there that's like this, but I think that's for what the buzzer is for, so sorry if I've got to hit it again. It'd be really cool to see a game tackle that sort of writing again. But it's pretty easy to go over the top, as if when I get around to Max Payne 3, you'll see why. It's a fine balance when you're writing this sort of dialogue and characters and stuff like that.
Turn around, walk away, blow town. That would have been the smart thing to do. Guess I wasn't that smart. Lupino's tenement buildings were a seedy hangout for all kinds of sleaze. A liquor store, a pawn shop, a laundromat full of mobster bookies and loan sharks. The list went on. The how and why of it was a mystery to me, but they knew I was a cop. They knew I was coming, and they were going to get real trigger happy about it. I got to see Lupino's hangout all lit up. A bomb went off, turning snow into liquid gold. A pillar of fire lifted the remains of a car straight up into the air. The flames were highlighted on the hood of a black Mercedes-Benz as it coasted down the street real slow, as if the driver didn't have a worry in the world. I got a good look at the man riding shotgun. It was Vladimir, the head of the local Russian mob, the fly in Don Punchinello's soup. The ringing in my ears was the sound of a mob war being waged. Another bomb exploded inside the closest slum building. It was a lucky break. The goons inside were spooked, but luck always came with a price tag. More bombs could still be ticking inside, and the cops would already be on their way. Jack Lupino's suite was on the top floor. At least it used to be, before the explosive makeover.
this.
Quit worrying, eh? Think of it as Christmas. The Russians are with Santa.
What the hell?
Clearly these guys aren't connected to whatever else is going on in that building with the explosives. Saying that the Russians are like Santa Claus. No, looks like your local pawn shop.
The headlines were a depressing read. The headlines were screaming bloody murder. The storm was a screaming duet with the approaching prowl car sirens. It was all a scream when you were down for the count and wanted for murder.
That's true. But like people who have seen this game before or know anything of Max Payne, he doesn't go down too easy. So I just collected some Molotovs. Okay, so we're gonna start seeing that in play now too. I only use grenades when it's deemed appropriate. I always find throwable weapons in this not really good.
The whole building was rigged with explosives.
Why not add to the mess ourselves? That's another time it saved me a bullet. You don't get to do that often, but when you do, it's very fun.
I think I died. I think I'm dead.
He thinks he's dead.
What the?
Nope. Where'd he go? There he is. I'd like to know where you came from. Nope. Okay. Always try all the doors because you don't know where they'll lead you. At least it wasn't a grenade. That's for sure.
A beaten-up phone in the entrance hall was ringing. It could have been just a junkie in need of a fix, but it turned out to be something more sinister than that.
Am I speaking to Mr. Payne?
Who wants to know?
My name is Alfred Wooden. You must hurry. The police are on their way.
Tell me something I don't know.
They know you're there.
How? And what's it to you?
I will contact you again.
The cops arrived, sirens singing in the off-key harmony of a manic-depressive choir. I had a few minutes while the SWAT team would go through their usual routine. By the time they busted in, I needed to be long gone.
Max Payne, this is Deputy Chief Jim Bravura from the NYPD. Drop your weapons and come out with your hands above your head.
Did you hear?
I'll try and catch as much of the henchman dialogue as I can, because some of it can be genuinely funny.
I need a key to get through.
It had to be one of those shots.
Someone had left a letter on the counter. Suddenly it all made sense. The bombs, the Russian mob boss making an appearance in person. Gognitti was his usual self. All talk and no walk.
After our hit, the Russian has only a couple of guns left, and they can be bought. There's no freaking way he has the guts to try anything after that.
As it turned out, the Russian had plenty of guts. One thing you could count on, you push a man too far and sooner or later he'd start pushing back. There was a key on the shelf.
Okay, yeah, staircase key. It should be one of these doors. Alright, let's make our way up this building that is currently exploding with multiple bombs in it. Grenade, fuck. They do try and throw those sort of traps on you to catch you out. Throwing grenades down walls, down staircases and stuff like that. In the hopes that you mess up. I'm glad the blast radius for grenades isn't that big. Maybe I'm playing on the wrong level again, but I don't remember them being any bigger than that. You tend to have a good chance of getting out there from, you know, very little damage to maybe none at all. We're not going up any further. The shit's just coming down around us, isn't it? Oh shit, that one nearly took my head off. I'd like to know how far behind the police are with us, because there'd be somebody in this neighborhood hearing this. I don't expect anyone to be calling the cops who live in this building, but there would have to be somebody within this radius of the neighborhood that hears the gunfire and must be calling the cops by now. Okay, I can't shoot it, so... But we've gone as high as... Yeah, we can't go any further, so... Our exit is definitely out that window. Do we jump through? Oh, pills. Thank you. I'm gonna try jump through and see what happens. Ah, there you go.
The bombs had destroyed all the stairs up to Lupino's office. The alternate route led there by way of adjoining rooftops.
It's never been this cold. Never ever. It's like the sky's falling.
Yes, sir. It's the end of the world as we know it.
And I don't feel fine. I don't feel anything. Not a thing.
I'm freezing my butt off.
To get to the roof, I'd need to get to the elevator through the locked door up ahead.
That's interesting. You don't see that on the front of laundry mats, do you? Let's go into this decrepit building.
Max Payne?
They're pretty quick to notice that I'm in the building, aren't they?
The flash. Hey!
Hopefully I haven't triggered any of them.
No, don't shoot.
You know the clowns at the laundry?
Me? No.
You're no good to me then.
What? No, the laundry, yeah. I know him, yeah.
Get me in there.
Okay.
Come on. Oh, you want me to lead? Okay. Yeah, so that's what happens if you trigger the junkies, is that they do start firing at you. They tend to take the henchman's side, which is fair enough, because I'm sure some of them are their dealers and whatnot. Come on, to the laundromat we must go. Get me inside.
It's me. Open up. Let me in, quick.
Not so fast. The password.
John who?
Come on. Oh, okay, John Woo.
All right. Come right in.
It's a trap!
Well, you didn't have to let him know it was a trap. You could have lived. Considering I had the shotgun to your back. I think I'm maxed out on everything else, which is good. Ooh, there we go. Some good elevator music for once. With us just finishing Evil Within. All the elevator rides we took then. What's one more, right? And we're at the top floor before we know it. Well, it's not the top floor, but it'll feel like it. Yeah, that's a greeting that no one wants to expect when they come out of the toilet.
New York City is in crisis tonight, with reports of Valkyr-related gang war in the streets of the Bronx. Apparently, Max Payne, wanted for questioning in connection with the slaying of a DEA special agent earlier tonight, is waging a one-man war against his former partners in crime. Among the listed casualties so far are notorious mafia members Joey and Virgilio Finito, as well as Rico Muerte, himself a fugitive from the law, and a suspect for several murders in the Chicago area. The NYPD has been placed on full alert. A citywide APB has been put out on Max Payne. Deputy Chief Jim Bravura has promised to take whatever steps necessary to bring him to justice. What those steps may be remains to be seen. For NYCNN TV News, this is Kira Silver.
Seems like we've been busy. It doesn't feel like we've been that busy, does it? Do we shoot it or jump out of it again? We're not riding the elevator down. I'm sorry, fans. Oh, damn it, I remember this. These high wire acts are such a pain in the ass.
On address unknown.
Get up!
It's the last place I want to end up. But that's where I always end up anyway. Only, it's not me talking to the pink flamingo, but someone who looks the part down to the finest detail, except that he's evil. I'm hiding in the shadows, watching it all unfold. The flamingo speaks. He can speak here. It says,
mirrors are more fun than television.
That's, mirrors are more fun than television. Somehow I know this, just don't ask me how. And I, not me, but my double, nods and smirks at this like it was the funniest thing in the world. And then something goes wrong, and suddenly they know I'm there, hiding behind them, and they both turn to look at me with cold eyes. And the flamingo speaks again.
Following angels.
I have no idea what that means. And that's when I always wake up to my own scream in that brightly lit white hospital room, strapped to my bed.
So yes, that is one of my favorite TV shows or / radio plays in this game. It's called Address Unknown. I'll make point of trying to find the rest of them. I don't know how many cameos it makes in the game. I know it makes a couple in the second one too. But the one in the second one kind of mirrors Max's life. Kind of the idea they ran with Alan Wake. Very close, boys. Very close.
Red, blue, or green?
It's always red or blue in the movies.
So, green?
No, not the green.
3, 2, 1. 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 1 Yeah. Well, we didn't exactly need the door, did we? They don't seem to be doing a lot of damage, do they? Oh. Now, which door did you... Oh. Right, we go up. I thought that was just... you know, damaged. You can't climb up this area. But I guess it was going to be the only way up since the other two... The two sides were blocked out. Yep, we're beyond... We're on floor 3 now? 4?
What the hell are you standing around here for? They're bombing us. What are you doing? You're doing nothing. What are you doing? This is war. Freaking war.
War. It's freaking war. So we all know who that's behind the door.
Vinny Gognitti. Just the man I've been killing to see.
Payne? Freaking fed. I knew from day one there was something screwy about you. What do you think you're doing? You're a freaking cop. You ain't got squad on us. You can't just come in here waving your piece like it meant something. Yeah! Oh my God! Oh God, you shot me! Ah! You're dead, Payne! What the hell are you waiting for, you apes? Kill him! Kill him!
With pleasure, boss.
Gognitti bailed. I made like Chow Yun Fat. A crumpled letter lay on Gognitti's desk. The letter was addressed to Don Punchinello, but Vinny had never had the nerve to finish it.
Jack's gone voodoo. Just the other night, he shot Dino because he wanted to see what his brains looked like splattered on the wall. He's a freaking mad dog. We're running out of men and business fast.
Gognitti had been living in mortal fear of his boss. Jack Lupino was a psycho.
Oh yeah. We'll learn much more about him later on too.
Vinny Gognitti was getting scared. He could run, but with a bullet in his stomach like a broken bottle of Tabasco, he was quickly running out of time. He knew where his boss was, and I wanted to square things up with Jack Lupino. Gognitti would be moving fast. I don't know about angels, but it's fear that gives men wings.
Who would have thought that higher wire acts in this game were going to be good? Oh, the train. Oh, I'm sorry if I ruined it for you if you're following this for the first time, but...
Gognitti hitched a ride. To catch him, I'd have to follow his lead.
Let's hope I do this in one go, because I really don't want to be sitting here for the next hour or so trying to do this. Yes! You don't know how hard it is to land that. Especially on your first go.
This was my second train ride of the night. The way it started didn't promise anything better than the last one. Freezing wind tearing at my face like sandpaper and razors. Ice hard and slick under my hands and feet. And somewhere in the background, the wail of sirens. The city howling after me. New York sped by in fast forward. Dark rooftop water towers and a dead forest of antennas and chimneys, all a blur. When the train he was riding slowed down, Gognitti made his move.
Nice shot, buddy. Still missed me. The rooftop jumping in is not bad. It's the higher wire acts that get on my nerves. So I don't even want to fire the gun while I'm doing those acts. It's just, it can be touchy at times trying to get across there. Gotta follow the blood trail. I can hear them, but I can't see. Oh, there they are. It's like I can hear the bullets, but I can't see them.
NYPD, you on the roof. Drop your weapon and lie down. I repeat, drop your weapon and lie face down.
Shoot the bastard!
Okay, boss, you got it.
No problem.
So if you didn't catch it there because of the helicopter pilot or captain or whatever flying over yelling at us, he was just basically telling his men that we're coming through, so you didn't really miss much. I know you get way more better weapons later on in the game, but at the moment we're using what you'd call street level stuff. Everybody's got one. Or one or the other. So with the cop helicopter hanging close, or fighting us at least anyway, we must be hanging close. They must be close to us. Because without a doubt he would have told them where we are.
Hold it!
I think that was all of them in this section. Ooh, some gear in the back here. That's what we want. I'm assuming we just summoned down the elevator again. Yeah, because there's nowhere to run up. Yeah. Which by now his elevator would have reached the top floor, whatever floor he wanted to get off at. So it's our turn. That's not really much of a tall building yet, is it?
Get him!
I'm still getting used to using the Ingrams, as they call them in this. I still prefer the pump shotgun, though. But it's one of those weapons you have to get used to because you end up seeing a lot of it. Oh, I wish I landed on the boxes that time. Would have saved me a lot of issues. I love also how he just ignores all the money and drugs. Like, I know you would have no use for the drugs anyway, but the cash, you'd think you'd pick up a couple of $100 here and there. It's not like you're going to go back to your job at the end of all this. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Max Payne has nowhere left to go. We are very close to capturing him. You'll get a full statement then. Right now, I've got better things to do, ma'am.
That was Deputy Chief Jim Bravura from the NYPD with no further comment at this time.
Apart from his suspicious food habits, I figured Bravura to be one of the good guys. Fate had just dropped us on different sides in this. But when it came to capturing me, he was way out of his league. I had already ditched the cops a couple of rooftops back. For now.
Good plan. Just not quick enough on the trigger, that's all. So, as you can see, they're not bad, but they're not great. The throwable... Ugh. The throwable grenades... Well, grenades are throwable, but throwable weapons in general aren't. The pathfinding for them are not great, and it looks like Max puts a lot of effort in it, but it doesn't go as far. But then again, I think you have to hold the button down for him to do a real distance throw.
Open, goddammit! Payne! I'll kill you, you lousy freaking cop!
Got nowhere to go now, Vinny. Coming for you. I'm staying up here, so that way I got a better chance of picking them off. Done and dusted with Vinny now.
Gognitti ran out of steam in a dead-end alley with steam boiling out of the sewer grates like all the fires of hell were burning high beneath us. It was shakedown time. Where's Lupino?
Screw you!
Bad start, Vinny.
Police brutality!
I rate pretty high on that.
You can't just hurt me in cold blood?
Just keep telling yourself that. Listen good, Candyman. I'm not gonna be anybody's fall guy. I want to know where your boss is hiding. There was no glory in this. I hadn't asked for this crap. Trouble had come to me in big dark swarms. The good and the just were like gold dust in the city. I had no illusions. I was not one of them. I was no hero. Just me and the gun and the crook. My options had decreased to a singular course.
I'll tell you, just don't hurt me no more. Lupino's at Ragnarok, the nightclub. Book me, take me in, hold me to the freaking jail, just don't hurt me.
Your rights will be ready at your funeral.
Chapter 8, here we go.
Ragnarok was Lupino's private nightclub, a den of drugs built into an old theater. I knew what waited inside. V-head junkies ready to explode in random acts of senseless violence. And Lupino's goon squad, the worst stone-cold killers this side of hell. Ragnarok was as inviting as a headache, flickering and flashing to a machine gun beat. The belly of the nightclub was a gothic theme park that began with bondage games and led to the nasty stuff from there. As subtle with its dark message as a cop killer bullet through the heart. Like father, like son. Just like Jack Lupino.
Alright, now we're in the local nightclub that's been shut down. This is where we're going to find out, like I said earlier, more about Jack Lupino. If I can find out how to get past this first area. Like I said, it's been a minute since I've played it. I know I shouldn't make excuses like it, but some of it comes back to me, some of it doesn't. Security. Sounds like it opened the door somewhere.
Got him down.
Where did that come from? Okay. So there's no hidden door I can see at the moment. There's no... Hang on. Oh, well, at least there's an upside. We got some more ammunition for the shotgun. Oh, here we go. I'm an idiot. How come they can shoot through shelving, but I can't?
Never been a bestseller. Given the setting, I was surprised to find that somebody had been passing time reading. The paperback was entitled, The Age of Murder and Storm. The blurb on the back mentioned Norse mythos and rock, the end of a Viking world with a terrible winter that covered the earth in ice, when vile crimes were rampant and all humanity lost. I could see how somebody impressionable might get it into their head that we were at the end of time. I was also beginning to see what the nightclub and its owner were all about.
Let me fix that cough. Whee. As you know, this game isn't much of a cover shooter, but you can hide behind things to give you a little edge here and there. Oh, there we are. Just keep rattling one door or another and they'll eventually open up for you. God damn it. There we go. Wasn't so hard.
Books on the occult had been piled on the table. The room was stacked with light reading, such as Necronomicon, Witchcraft, and Paradise Lost. Old exotic titles like Malleus Maleficarum and De Umbrarum Reini Novum Portus. Books with pentagrams on their covers, all dealing with the occult and the infernal, lying between stacks of horror videos and a couple of Ouija boards. The only thing I could take seriously was the thought of Lupino taking it seriously. He had been spending a lot of time getting intimate with the guy downstairs.
So now you're sort of getting a picture of what Jack Lupino is and why most of the guys around him are afraid of him.
What with Dino and all, it's Payne!
Ten points. You could have come down to my level, but you'd rather hide up there, so I'm not coming up to him. Alright, I'm really getting annoyed now with these high wired axe. At least that one did some damage. He really likes to jump. His character really loves to jump. If you notice what I mean, like, if you're not careful, you can walk straight off the edge. Okay, maybe we're done. No, we're not done. Oh shit, okay. I'm actually holding my breath here. Right. It's all good now. So we're still in the same building, but we've had to cut across the roof to get into another section of the building. These high wire acts. The only other one that comes to mind with these high wire acts is the prologue of part 2, which we'll eventually get around to, possibly next week. That's, if I die a lot in that, you're going to see a very edited version of it. Maybe even me appearing right at the end of it. But I will try and play through it as a whole to give you an idea why. It's not great. See if this panel does anything. Oh, here we go.
What the hell?
A little stuck behind the wall of speakers. Well, not so much a wall, but a couple statues of speakers. Looks like they had a live, when the club was actually open and running, it looks like it had a live in-house band, I think you call them. Go straight up. Up. Straight. I wish I could say this was a bit, but it's really not. Up. Yeah, I am literally, if you look at his movements, I am literally tapping the stick to get him to go up. There we are. I think that was meant to happen. Okay. I'm guessing it's like sort of like a maze. You have to open up the area.
Damn!
Stop throwing grenades. Please don't crack under my feet.
The backstage area led to Lupino's inner sanctum. The hot air inside was like an invisible wall, thick with incense and something else, a sickly sweet smell that made you gag. This was the rotten core of the Big Apple. Lupino lurked somewhere ahead, like a spider at the center of his web, waiting. The vapors in the air started to make my head swim. Torn pieces of a letter lay scattered on the sofa.
What, that's a... No, I don't see anything on that sofa. Oh, that one. Hang on.
Punchinello had threatened Lupino in writing. The note had been torn to pieces, bloody fingerprints all over them.
Don't want you to think that one of my boys is not playing with a full deck. Shape up, Jack. We are running a business here. I'd hate to send the trio to strong-arm you.
The trio were the Don's notorious henchmen. It was obvious that Lupino hadn't been intimidated by the threat. Lupino's notes covered the table. Jack Lupino was crazy, all right. The table was scattered with notes of demented arcane nonsense written in rusty blood. A mishmash list of demons, devils, and dark gods evoked.
Beelzebub, Asmodeus, Baphomet, Lucifer, Loki, Cthulhu, Lilith, Hela! Blood given to you all.
He was after that old Faustian deal. Your soul for power and fortune. Just sign on the dotted line with your blood.
Fair enough. A lot of people have gone after that deal in the
Lupino's
past.
notebook lay on the pedestal. Jack Lupino was crazy, all right.
Mythic wolves, let loose to devour the sun and the moon. Lupino is the wolf. I'm Mr. Beast, the big bad Fenris wolf. I'm the end of the world man, wearing the flesh of fallen angels.
After Y2K, the end of the world had become a cliché. But who was I to talk? A brooding underdog avenger alone against an empire of evil, out to right a grave injustice. Everything was subjective. There were only personal apocalypses. Nothing is a cliché when it's happening to you.
Now there's some very true facts said there towards the end.
Flesh of fallen angels! Come to me all! Astaroth, Beelzebub, Asmodeus, Baphomet, Lucifer, Loki, Satan, Cthulhu, Lilith, Hela! Blood to you all! Secret living under the skin of reality. I've seen it. The corruption of flesh. I'm the wolf, yeah! I am the wolf! It's close. It's coming. You have come. Damn! A witness to the end. Time. Ah! It's now! I will rise to her side! I don't need the words! I'm beyond the words! Ah!
I didn't want to interrupt his big great speech there. That's Jack Lupino. We'll meet him in a minute or two. Thanks for dropping right in front of me. So you can tell what he's done to the club. I'm sure it was a great place at one stage or another. Before he took over it anyway. Basically, it's a holdout until he makes his grand entrance. Why don't you come down here like the rest of your friends?
Hey.
I promise I don't buy it much. That's for throwing a Molotov my way.
I had known there'd have to be a catch in it somewhere, and this one was the Empire State Building of catches. Lupino was pumped up and dying to go 15 rounds with a mutant alligator. And then he started this spooky monkey talk, straight from a bad dream. Mine.
I have tasted the flesh of fallen angels. I've tasted the devil's green blood. It runs in my veins. I've seen beyond a world of skin, the architecture of blood and bow and arrow. Death is coming! She is coming, and hell follows with her. This is the twilight winter. I am ready to be her son. Her time is now, and all who stand in her way must die! Die! You'll die! You'll die! Now! Oh, die!
Time to put this wolf down.
When Lupino finally went down, I wanted to make real sure he'd stay that way. V was a bad monster. Turned them into friggin' zombie demons from outer space.
I think he's dead already.
Huh? And that's when it happened.
But dead or not, you've got the wrong guy.
In stepped this knockout femme fatale holding a gun to my face. I returned the favor.
And with that, we've reached the ending of another showing. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I've enjoyed it. And until next time, good night.